Well, hello and welcome. This is the Rebreak Speaks podcast, the official beginning of the Rebreak Speaks podcast. My name is Abby, and today we are here with a guest, very special guest. Um, how do you want to introduce yourself to the Rebreak Speaks podcast?
Well, my name is Thomas Reguieg. People in Dundee know me as Tom, just because they don't have my full name on Facebook. And my business is called Coach T.R.E.G. So this is what I do pretty much.
This is what you do.
This is who I am. I'm a coach, health and fitness guy.
That's
about it.
You're the guru.
Nah, no guru. Always trying to learn more.
Always trying to learn. So tell us a little bit more. Coach, is that your title, your official title? Coach T.R.E.G?
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Coach T.R.E.G. It sounds very official, doesn't it? I like it.
It is.
Where did that come from, Coach T.R.E.G?
So it's for me, like the T.R.E.G part is an actual.
It's your name. Is it? Oh, I thought it was your name.
No, it is my name too, but it's an acronym, right?
I did not know this.
And this it stands for Tough Regular Exercise Gurus. But like,
you're a guru. You've been saying it here on the podcast. You are a guru.
I'm not. I might be for some people, but myself, I'm not one because I'm always trying to chase further, learn more.
Always trying to learn more.
That's it. Just constant
I like
graft.
that. I like that. So what we're going to be talking about today, Coach T.R.E.G. I think that's the title I'm going to stick with. Is we want to delve more into you and who you are, your journey, your fitness journey. I think now people are very becoming very health conscious, more so.
Yeah.
And I think you're a great voice in Dundee to help further that.
Thank you. Well, obviously, I'm trying my best to get people to get healthier, get outside, and get some fresh air, pretty much. Because there's obesity that's going up right now. There's a lot of things, especially with mental health and all these kinds of subsections of what exercise and health and fitness is.
What it can do, yeah.
Yeah, and like obviously once you do manage to get into the swing of things, then you see results happening quite quickly, which is what like pyramid schemes and people like that tend to come into play. Like for example, I'll throw a name out there, even though they probably don't hate me. It's Herbalife.
Oh, are you throwing? Is this you throwing shade?
Ever so slightly.
This is you throwing shade. Ever so. What's it called? Herbalife.
Herbalife. Yeah. I've done it. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I've been part of this thing, but they tried to get me in like as a recruit after. I was like, nah, it's not for me.
So I mean, I guess what you're saying is there's a lot of like, shady stuff happening a little bit in the fitness industry with people trying to exploit other people for.
Yeah, but at the same time, as long as people put the effort in and they actually realize that exercise and health and fitness is good for them.
Yeah.
Whoever they do it with, like, I can't complain. Like,
it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. That's what it is, pretty much.
You touched a little bit. This is what I'm really interested to talk about with you, Coach. Is you touched a little bit on mental health and
Tom's fine, by the way.
Tom. Let's stick with Tom. I don't know. I think Coach T.R.E.G had a nice I don't know. But Tom, you talked about mental health, and I think we talk about exercise. When we think about exercise, we think about getting the abs, getting the biceps. But I think mental health is a big part of why people pursue exercise, and largely is that a big part of why you decided to pursue health and fitness?
I've always been a sort of healthy, active kid when I was growing up, and after that, when I really started getting into like health and fitness was around like my teenage years when I went to New Zealand because it was a way of me fitting in. And because I was the outsider, I was coming from France and to New Zealand, and they were like, little French boy, Frenchie, all the names. And then I was like, right, I'm just gonna get stuck in with rugby. And
really?
So I started playing rugby at first, but I've done a few different various martial arts when I was a kid, but that was about it. So that's where I first really started to see the actual benefits of what sports and all this other stuff can do for young people mostly, and older people obviously. As you grow on in life, you need health and fitness more because your body starts to ache. So moving about becomes a bit more difficult.
More difficult, yeah.
But if you keep on going to the gym and just staying active, really, don't have to go to the gym. You just can walk, obviously do a few stretches, and that's some of the.
And even like you're saying, sorry to cut you off, Tom, but even like you're saying with, you said that you being bullied when you went to New Zealand, and then almost like rugby providing like an outlet for you and a space where you could like flourish and grow into Coach T.R.E.G, as we see saying here with us today. But what would you say to kids who are a little bit like you, kids who've been perhaps teased or bullied, and finding refuge almost in sports and exercise?
I'd say keep the graph going because honestly it pays off. Whatever your sport is, it gives you discipline, it gives you drive, it gives you consistency because you've got to show up to training. And those are qualities that you can take in life also. So just say keep it going because you'll also make good friends, even though like there'll be days where it's not the greatest training session. There'll be days where like your teammates or whoever is not calling you names but like sort of teasing you, and but this always happens. There's always a brighter day at the end of the night, you know what I mean? So like,
and I guess that's the overwhelming message of health and fitness is that it teaches you so many skills that you can carry into the rest of your life.
100%.
I think that's awesome. Is there anything else, like you talk about, your move to New Zealand and how that, you found that space within sports? Was there anything else that pushed you towards, because sports is one thing. I think a lot of kids get involved with sports, but what was it that made that transition between being a sporty kid moving into, fitness being your full-time passion and your job almost?
Yeah, well, that would have been when I came back to France from like my trips abroad pretty much. Because I wanted to keep playing rugby, but let's say that the atmosphere in France isn't like the same as in New Zealand or South Pacific. Those guys play hard down there.
Wow,
like,
really?
So what it was like I need something to challenge me, and then I found boxing and martial arts like MMA and whatnot, and that really taught me discipline and like because I was always a sort of little fat kid growing up in that, but like it taught me that you could like shred weight, you could like gain confidence and whatnot. And then after when I decided to come to uni after a much heated debate with my father, we started well, not we rather, I mean he's the one that maybe put the idea in my head, but we just went and came here. But then after that I was like, right, I'm really enjoying like helping my pals and like seeing the results with them, you know what I mean? Like, because they were willing to put in the graft, so it was easy and it was enjoyable for me to coach them. So I was like, okay, I'm alright at this. Like,
you're not bad at this.
So why not just go for it? And but then after, obviously, I had to sit down, come up with a plan, come up with a brand name, brand logo,
all the work that comes with it,
Exactly.
You talked a bit about your dad and being the one that pushed you a little bit towards coming to uni to do sports. What role do you think your dad played in your overall pushing you towards fitness and exercise?
Oh, he played a big
Yeah, I can imagine.
He's the one that probably was he was the one that got me into sports very much, and without my old boy I probably wouldn't like be the person I am today, you know what I mean?
Is he watching on the live?
I hope so. Dad, if you wait, you slacking. But what was I gonna say after? Yeah, he's the one because I remember him and I used to go to the gym sometimes.
When you were a kid?
Yeah, when I was a kid. So it was like sort of a bonding thing, like with it's just like a way of spending time together and that, you know what I mean? It was always, I remember also when I was a kid, we'd put on boxing gloves and he would just I would just be jumping up and down on the bed, and he would throw a jab and just hit me, and then I'd pretend I would be knocked out like I was on the canvas.
I think it's really cool that you had that influence from the beginning,
100%.
to pursue, and then obviously, like you said, your dad pushing you towards sport and fitness and stuff. So I've got a question here about you're talking about going through being this sporty kid, being rugby champ, this really great rugby player, boxer, whatever, and we talked a little bit about the impact, the positive impact it has on your mental health. Do you feel like there's been times where there's other stuff that's happened in your life, negative stuff, that you've been able to has that affected your fitness journey, your training, or?
Yeah, well, a few things. Therefore, for example, right now, for example, I have a hernia from, ironically, lifting too heavy in the gym. So, right now it's kind of tough because obviously I'm so used to training. I'm used to training 2 times a day, sometimes, if you add in a run, 3 times. So, not to blow my own horn or anything, but I do train quite a fair
Essentially, what Tom is saying is that we're all lazy,
No.
and that he is telling us all to get off our butts. I'm joking.
But if you do want to get fitter, you can hit me up on Instagram, Coach T.R.E.G 13. No, I'm joking. Anyway, what I was gonna say is, there's a few things. I know that, for example, one of my friends also, he turned to health and fitness after he went through a breakup. And I know a few people that have done this. For example, they keep on getting bullied or whatnot. So it's just at the end of the day, giving yourself, because it all starts in your mind. It's self-confidence, but it's within yourself that it needs to grow, because that is the key to self-growth. It's being confident, but in yourself, that I can do this if I do put my mind to it. Right. Right now, I'm listening to David Goggins' "Can't Hurt Me," the audiobook, and I'm seeing not a lot of similarities, but I can understand the way this man thinks. The stuff that he does is mental. I would never go into an ice cold fountain and just chill there for hours upon end. But
no, it's not for me.
No. See, I'll stick to my nice warm showers and an ice bath every 2 weeks or whatnot. But it's all about mental toughness and being able to push through the darker times in order to see the light. I really do think that health and fitness can help people with that, because obviously there's a release of endorphins when you do train, which endorphins is the tingly sensation you get after a workout when you're
I don't know about tingly. For me, it's kind of more sweaty and sore, but
I don't know. Tingly is my thing. You get me? I like it. So
So Tom, we're in 2020, and obviously I don't know if you guys have heard, but we are in a pandemic.
Really?
And there's been a lot of people who've been really negatively affected by the pandemic. Everybody, every business, everybody who works. And because of that, we're seeing an increase in depression, anxiety, and like you're saying, low self-confidence. People have lost their jobs. People have lost their motivation to do anything. What role do you think going forward, and like I'm saying, you being someone in Dundee who is so vocal and passionate about promoting health and well-being, fitness and well-being, both for the body and for the mind, how do you feel that's going to affect you in 2021 going on from this, and people in general, having come out of this year, which has been so hard for so many people?
So for me, right now, I'm yes, it was tough at first. Don't get me wrong, it's still tough right now. But after I don't know, how long was the first lockdown? 6 months?
6 months,
Yeah. So first month and a half, 2 months, I just went and lost the plot very much. Like on my nutrition, I was still training, luckily, so it didn't look like I was too fat. But I was eating pizzas and stuff every day, you know what I mean? So, but then after I got my motivation back, and then I got my discipline back. So motivation will waver up and down, right? But if you get discipline and consistency, then you'll be able to start hitting.
Yo, I just feel like that's a retweetable phrase right there. Can you say that one more time?
If you get discipline and consistency, you will be able to just achieve greatness.
Discipline and consistency. Wow, that's incredible. I really did think that. But you're saying, you said yourself, you're a fitness coach, but you said you gained weight during lockdown and you lost a bit of motivation.
So like, whoever is a sort of professional in their area, if they say that they don't mess up, then they're lying to you, right? Because we all have ups and downs.
Yeah.
But I like to keep it 100. Nah, I'm joking.
Keep it real.
I've been watching too much Hell's Kitchen. There's a guy called Sterling on there, and he does this all the time. Anyway, back to the point I was making. So I like to be honest, right? So the fact, I did. I went up and probably put on about 10 kilos of like, not even muscle. It was just a bit fat because I was training, but not really hard. Anyway, but at some point you've got to like take a long, hard look in the mirror and be like, am I happy with what I see? And then I was like, no. So then I have to write down your goals every day. So if you've got daily goals, which you should, write them down and just take them off every single step of the way. So if you've got something to do at 10 a.m. till 12, if that's working out, if that's doing your business, if that's seeing your kids, The list goes on. Just go do your activity, take it off. Later on, whatever you've got, take it off. Just keep on going, and with that systematic approach, you will achieve and go far in life. Because consistency and hard work makes great opportunity skills.
Yes.
So that's really what it's about. There's no luck in this world. I don't believe in luck. It's opportunity and hard work.
Look at you spitting facts on the podcast. I'm so here for it.
Yes.
That's it. I just love how, consistency. I watch your Instagram stories. Every time you put an Instagram story, I love it because I think you preach the message of consistency. And like you're saying, you talked about these pyramid scheme people who are just trying to like get money, get ripped quick, lose.
Exactly.
You hear people, I think it's so funny when you hear people like, oh, lose 20 pounds in a week. And I'm like, the only way you can do that is if someone took out your liver. Like, you can't do that. Like,
exactly.
It's so unrealistic.
They'll tell you there's a magical formula in a shake or something, you know what I mean? Like, and it really isn't. Like, no. I can understand that, like, protein shakes and stuff are good, right? Don't get me wrong, I use them. But there's no one shake that's like, the greatest shake in the world, you know what I mean? That has everything that you need.
I guess like you could say the only real like magic potion or magic thing is like you're saying is the consistency and the discipline.
That's it, consistency and hard work. Because at the end of the day, like I said, there'll be days where you just don't want to train. There'll be days where you're like, oh, I feel tired or whatnot. And then because I always think about it as I've got a little angel on my left shoulder and I've got a devil on my right. And
one of them telling you to eat chips.
And then this guy on the right shoulder, mostly he's about like 3 feet taller than the other dude. You get me? Like, so, but you need to lean over to the left and listen to the angel and be like, yo, go get that work, man. Put in the effort, because after that you will be able to reap the rewards and feel 10 times better.
Yeah. Have you always been Mr. Consistency?
No.
Tell us what's the journey from what's your journey been? Your discipline and consistency journey. Have you always like for so sorry to cut you off, but like have you? We talked a little bit before about you being an overweight kid, and then going into becoming a sportier teenager, and then like that kind of back and forth, like you're saying over lockdown, the gaining weight and the losing weight and the ebbing and the flowing.
Yeah.
How tell us about that journey of going through that and getting to the point now where you're preaching consistency.
So pretty much this is where martial arts and boxing really comes into play for me. Because I don't know if any of the listeners or the viewers have done any sort of martial arts training or competitive martial arts training, because it's a whole different variety. Because when you're training for a fight, whether it be amateur or professional, you have to be disciplined enough because you need to make weight. That's the big thing. See, if you don't make weight, you can't fight.
And I've seen crazy videos of people like sweating in saunas and
100%.
Dehydrating themselves just to get that goal.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where it comes into play, because like you said, people went into saunas. I've done the sauna thing, and I've done also one of the other examples is when you get a bottle, about a liter and a half or something, and you get like 5 bits of gum, and then you've got to spit everything up so it just loses all the water weight.
Wow.
And you fill up the water bowl, then you go to sleep with 2 jumpers on just to make weight
Just to
and
sweat
then
yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you've got to fight.
And then after that you've got to fight.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's like, I guess like that'll teach you. If nothing will teach you discipline, that'll teach you discipline.
That teaches you discipline a fair bit, like so. But it's the ability to carry over to other areas of your life.
Yeah.
That is really like the main thing that like sets martial arts apart from me. And this is why I'm so passionate about it. And I try to get most of my clients involved in some sort of martial arts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess you're so right as well. Like you know, even look at yourself as an example. You are, your passion is health and fitness, but you're a business owner. You run a business, and so you need to move that discipline over to the business side of what you do.
Yeah, exactly. But so there's some days where I wake up and be like, man, I know that to do like 2 hours of work on this program, and in my head I'm like, oh, I really want to hit the snooze button and go back to bed for like another half an hour. But that's when that discipline comes in. You've got to be like, nah, just get up and then like have a walk about or go out in the cold. Like that's the only time that I'll probably go out for a walk in the cold, is if I'm just like really tired from the night before and I'm just like, want to stay in bed. Nah, just get up, go out to the garden, and then come back in. And by that point, but best believe me, if you know how it is in Scotland, then you'll be awake.
It's cold. Child, listen. It's cold, man. Yeah.
But yeah, no, so that's why, for example, also in the book that I'm reading, listening to, it's an audiobook.
Who reads books nowadays? No, I'm joking. We list everything.
Yeah, true. Or you look at it. What was I saying?
The book that you're reading, is David Goggins' book?
Yeah. He talks about how motivation is an actual bad thing. I don't believe it is, right? I'll explain why. But it comes back to that discipline thing, because if you see like that it's cold and raining outside and you're meant to go for a run, right? And you're like, I really don't want to. But hey, this is the difference that could be winning your game or it could be losing your game or match or fight, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Like, I always believe that like the people that have that little extra edge in life are the people that are willing to put themselves in uncomfortable situations. That's what Mike Tyson said. He was like, if my opponent gets up at 4 a.m. to go for a run, then best believe that I will not be sleeping throughout the night. I will be exercising.
It's about doing what you need to do to get to where you want to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And even though like there's days where you feel low and you might get not a lot done, just remember tomorrow is a different day. Like it's all good. like as long as you just bring the best that you can, just bring it 150% every day. And even if 150% is posting a video online, and stick it to your schedule and do it.
Yeah. And you're so right. I mean, we all have, like you're saying, I know this David Goggins guy is doing ridiculous stuff and, you know, doing the most, all that stuff. But our goal is
200-mile races.
Not for me, sweetheart. Not for me. But you know, if you're listening or watching, your goal could be to get up and write that essay. Or to get up and complete that task, to get up and start that idea, to get up. And I guess that's really the point of what we've been talking about today is 100%. It's not really about, you know, the frilly, pretty things that come along with, oh, fitness is all about abs and, you know, It's not. It's about the discipline. It's the willingness to do what other people won't do to get something that other people don't have.
That's like the way that you put it is exactly right. So I would have actually said, well, I wouldn't have said it as eloquently as you, first of all, but I would have said that the grind is what people in the fitness industry, well, it's what I love about fitness industry, right? And it's what the people that like inspire me in that they always say, enjoy the journey, enjoy the grind, because the final destination sure does look like a sweet spot, but it isn't as sweet as if you had a rough ride to get there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for example, if you look at, just gotta go with boxing because it's easy for me. If you look at a boxer, right, and he's climbing up the ranks, then he goes pro, then he climbs up the ranks again, and he might have a few fights where he loses and but then when he goes to that world championship fight, when he gets in that ring, fights 12 rounds, makes it, gets the W, best believe that you may see that man cry, like, because of the overwhelming passion and drive and all the like sacrifices that have been made. Because at the end of the day, if you want to be successful, you gotta make some sort of sacrifice.
Yeah,
like whatever it may be in your field, you're gonna have to stay up late. You're gonna have to do, have to put in an hour in the gym every day, or well, not every day. Sorry, because that's my bad. That's how you get.
That's how you get
hernia. Don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah, no. Yeah. So what it is hard work, consistency, grind.
Doing what other people aren't doing.
But you gotta do what you love, though. And when something comes into play that you don't like, then you just gotta remember your why. Finding out your why. I explained this on one of my Monday motivations on my Instagram. It's really powerful. Yeah. Because once you found your why,
that's everything.
You know why you're doing it exactly. Then even the worst day, still your why will carry you. It still carries you over into the next day. You know how many times I've been like, man, this coaching thing is hard. Like,
but you managed to get through.
Exactly. Tomorrow's the next day. You just need to keep going.
I've so loved having you here, and we could literally continue this conversation for another hour. But unfortunately, our time is coming to an end. I keep calling you the coach because I love that title, the coach. And we have been the Rebreak Speaks podcast. I'm so excited to have you on. I can't speak anymore.
Thank you so much for having me.
Listening. Thank you so much for watching. And we'll be seeing more from you in the future.
100%. Thank you for having me. Guys, if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Coach_T.R.E.G 13. And then it's just Coach T.R.E.G on Facebook. And T.R.E.G is T.R.E.G.
Sounds good. All right, thanks, man.
Thank you for having me.